In today's video, I'm going to take it like 5, 10, 20 steps back. Okay, if you are a new viewer and you don't know me, I'm Brando. I work right now, today, with 7 and 8 figure brands. And I just have this YouTube channel where I start ranting and talking about all the experiences that I face, how we scale, what's happening with our clients. And in some cases, I do videos where I talk literally about a lot of different things. I was going to bed the other night. I woke up and I was like, you know what? I feel like today I need to do a video that just goes back into the roots of what actually makes businesses scale to 50, 80, 100 plus $1,000 per day. Okay? There are a lot of things in the granular, but if we take a look at like a macro perspective, there's like one or two things that are probably the most, let's just say two things actually, which I want to cover in this video that you must not forget about. This is crucial. So if you're not doing $100,000 a day or you're doing less, right? This video is for you, okay? Let me start by this, okay? The foundations, to actually make a business scale. I'm gonna get into a couple different things here in just a second, but just to explain to you, the foundations to scale is that you need an addressable market that is big enough, okay? If you are targeting 20,000 people with a $100 AOV product, good luck, right? It's hard to scale. Even if you're targeting, TAMs are like 2, 3, 4 million, 5 million, even then it starts to become a bit of a struggle to scale. So typically, we want to go after addressable markets, right? Market segments that are ready for scale, right? Because if you cannot have the opportunity to scale, meaning that on Earth, on planet Earth, there aren't enough people that actually need and want your product, right? Or have a specific pain that you're selling on your ads, it's gonna be hard. Like you're putting a nail on your foot automatically from day one. So assuming you are going after an addressable market, right, that is quite good, it's healthy, it's scalable, then that is the first part of the equation. Once you have that figured out, you really need two things to crack the code. Okay, you need a good offer, and I know that I'm going back to the roots. Maybe you will roll your eyes, whatever the saying is, and hop off this video. But I want to do this video just because it's really, really important. If you crack these two things, number one being the offer, I'm going to bring you through number two in just a second. You probably know already what it is, maybe. But number one is the offer. If you think about it, as a consumer yourself, when you see a great offer, you buy. Like if you have a company that targets you with your pain point, that presents a desired outcome, right, and has an amazing offer, you will buy. Like I've been through this many times as a marketer myself, literally. I'm like, these fuckers, they know what they're doing, and it's working on me. So this is an example of just some companies, and this example is just one company called Truly Beauty or something like that. They're doing very, very well. Okay, 8 figures, and they are masters at launching offers. Here's an example: a glazed donut shave set, right, where they're giving 2 free items included into the offer, right? Or they're basically stacking and adding value by stacking, and I think I didn't take a screenshot here, but there's another free gift added to this, like buy 1, buy 3, buy 6, buy 12 type of thing. So these types of companies 100% nail down the offer part. Because if there's one thing that we know for a fact is that if people come to your store and they don't convert because the offer, the pricing goes off, whatever, the ads are also just not going to work and scale as much. So this is a critical component. FYI, case study of the day. We just onboarded a client. Their business was declining. Shout out to you if you're watching this video. And all of a sudden, we were in day 3 of like 4 or 4 of working together, right? As soon as we started working together, we didn't even touch the account, but the sales, we noticed that they basically almost doubled, and now they've doubled or almost tripled at this point since we started working together. What changed? Same ads, same everything. The offer. He basically restructured and positioned the offer, and he was maybe thinking about it on his own terms. But on the first call that we hopped on, I always ask this in my calls: what is the offer that works for you? We talked about his best offer that was working for him in the past. Then for some reason he just remembered about it, or he remembered about our conversation. I don't know which one is, but he turned that on as soon as we started working together, and we basically doubled. Maybe I can do a case study about it, or just to prove a point in a further video. But literally, ad account spend doubled, sales doubled. Why? Because the conversion rate went up. People loved that offer and it worked. Okay, so this alone can really, if you want a quick win and you want to really drastically change the way that you do business and grow your business, this is really important. Okay, let me just close my girlfriend. She's probably famous by now. If you watch my videos, she's always texting me while I do the videos, and I have to shut her off. Sorry, but let me just quickly talk about one quick thing. increasing perceived value. Okay, what they're doing here ultimately is once you have the right person on your website, right? Think about it. It's simple. Once you have the right person on your website and they're kind of sold because they have a good ad, right? They saw a good ad. This is what you need to do. Make sure that they see a price and they portray that the perceived value that they're going after is way higher, right? And which is not what most people do. They pitch $100, but the perceived value is 50, right? Or 70 or less. It's even a problem if the perceived value they think is $100. I can assure you, if they think the perceived value is over $100, right? Like $300, and they're paying for 100, and they truly believe it. And when I say truly believe it, I mean that they actually think that they're getting a great deal, right? I'm not talking about, some offers where they like know that if they're getting scammed or something. I'm talking about the offers like, wow, I'm actually getting a great deal. So an offer could be something like this. I'm actually getting 2 products for free, right? Or I'm actually buying 2 shoes and getting 1 for free. Wow. Or I'm actually getting 2 iPhones and getting 2 for free. Like plus these extra items, plus this and that. You get the point. Good offer. This is what we want to ultimately get across. Even this is an example of like a company, right? They're value stacking, right? They're giving options where a one-time purchaser, they subscribe and save an additional 10%, right? They have a money-back guarantee, right? They have 2 free products. One other quick thing that I always recommend is have the offer presented extremely visually, like on the product page itself, on a collection page. If they don't see it, they don't believe it. They have to see it. People consume images and graphics more than texts and words, a bunch of blocks of text. So make sure that it's portrayed easily so that they understand what they're getting. Okay, this is one thing. We don't want to do something like this, something bland that has nothing, no offer, no nothing. This is just a random example, right? Which is prone for low AOV, no offer, no incentive, no perceived value, no value stacking. We want something like this, okay? This is the first pillar. High TAM, big TAM, assuming you can scale, crack the offer, and of course, cracking the creative side. I don't want you to start thinking about the ad account. I don't want you to start thinking about landing pages and art listicles and advertorials in a stage where it actually doesn't matter as much as these things. Of course, once you scale and once you start spending, several thousands a day or whatever, you have to start thinking about optimizing the landing page because it can actually change the projection of the, further your business, the trajectory that your business is taking, because those things matter. But the first thing that matters is creative and offer, creative and offer, creative and offer. Okay, roll your eyes as much as you want, but this is a video to remind the roots of what you need to focus on: creative and offer. If you have the best creative that has the best script, that has the best UGC actor, whatever type of creative concept you're doing, I can assure you that if you send them to a place that has great offer, it will work. It's not that hard. The hard part is actually building a good offer, right? Choosing the right market, whatever, like good TAM, because some people don't even know about that. They just do random stuff. But typically the TAM is not the issue. Good offer, right? And a great ad that resonates with one specific type of persona, that has one specific type of problem, right? And has a specific desire, okay? I don't want you to start thinking about ad account structures, okay? They don't actually work that much. I mean, they help you optimize the account by 3, 4, 5%, maybe 10% at the most, right? It doesn't actually work like that. You can't start worrying about the back end. You have to worry about the things that actually make the ad account scale, which is creative. So one thing in structure that I talk about in my other videos is 3 pillars for a good creative process. Do customer research, do creative research, and have creative meetings with your team to analyze what's working and what is not working. I don't want to spend 3 hours talking about this and what it means. It's pretty simple actually, but you have to simplify this process, creative process, into 3: customer research, creative research, and do meetings with your team so that you understand what's working, what's not working, what to eliminate in the pipeline, what to add in the pipeline. Okay, there's a bunch of strategies, but I recommend for you to have the setup. You do all the research, everything that you see over here: viral concepts, winning scripts, required winning B-roll content, AI voiceovers that are working, winning ad breakdowns, deep customer research, anything that you find, you put into something called a holy creative document. Call it whatever you want. I like to call it holy creative document, where it's a document that your team can leverage to actually keep track of things. Keep track of things that work and that don't work. It's very simple. Then you combine that with creative weekly meetings where your editors and your creative strategist meet together to discuss, have discussion points on why is this working, why is this not working, how can we improve this B-roll shot with this caption or this visual representation, edits, all that stuff. And it adds up. And what is this that you're seeing over here? This is me portraying and showing you that if you actually focus on creative, instead of launching 100 ads and barely finding a winner, you launch 100 and you have 10, 15, 20 winners, or things that can at least start getting spend and increasing your spend. Because once you do and focus on creative and offer, I can guarantee you that your campaign, if you're spending $1,000 a day, you'll most likely spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a day. It's all about creative and offer. This was a super short video. It was a bit different compared to my other more technical videos where I break down a million strategies left and right, this and that. This was going back to the roots. So if you are in the scenario where you have to start choosing about priority and you're doing less than $2, $3, $4, $500,000 a month, right? This is what you should focus on. And even if you're doing $1 million a month, right? Go back to the roots. Sometimes you have to go back to the roots. Creative and offer. Creative and offer. Okay? That is it for this video. If you want help on the creative and on the offer, but also regardless, if you want e-commerce help and you're at 100, 500, a million a month, whatever that is, and you want to get to the next level, we have experience working with 7 and of course 8-figure businesses that do a lot more than that. So if you want help and support, you want a free audit, you know what to do. You can book a call. We also have a community where it's just $297 a month, where you get access to a bunch of different resources for the people that maybe don't qualify. We send them over there, and they get access to a school community, my time twice a week, weekly calls, discussion points where we help each other out. There's also access, you get access to a bunch of other members that are doing 7 plus figures. And that is it. That is what I can propose. I'll see you in the next video and hopefully see you on the call. Bye for now.